give up on this thing. I don't care. We're all gonna be streaming on YouTube soon anyway. Who the fuck cares? Anyway. Oh yeah. So as I was saying, if I suddenly vanish off your screen, it is because Windows lied, and it did not wait till a time that is convenient to me to do Windows updates. It just straight up went ahead and did them.
Right now?
Well,
no, if he just goes and his machine reboots, do you still see him? His machine.
I still see him. Yes.
Here, if all of a sudden instead of me you see this, Windows is doing updates. Whoa!
I still see you. Yeah.
You can see my
green little dot.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, the point is, Windows is not updating anything at the moment, so we're good to go.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was worried there for a second.
We got a fantastic intro going on.
Oh, I'm still setting up, so don't let me stop you from having a wonderful podcast without me.
So I should be starting soon.
But we've been getting ready to go for 2 hours now.
Maybe 1.
It was a significant amount of time.
I didn't remember to do anything until you hopped on.
I mean, I've almost finished the dragon milk that I've been drinking. So
Ooh,
Kevin
dragon
was
milk. That's a throwback. We haven't had a mention of a dragon milk in quite some time.
I know. Well, Kevin came to visit, and he ran to the grocery store, and in all of his infinite wisdom, and that is not sarcastic in the least, he bought dragon's milk. And I was like, oh my God, you are the best. I forgotten about that stuff. And of course it's as tasty as I remember it being. Mm-hmm. So again, thank you very much, Kevin. That was pretty awesome.
You're very welcome.
And Kevin, what are you partaking in?
Coffee.
Coffee?
Whoa. Oh my God, sorry, my Twitch is just all over the place at this point. I have no idea what's happening right now.
So unprofessional.
Oh yeah, this is all kinds of... I'm trying to get to the damn stream manager. Twitch fucked everything up. There's nothing new for Twitch though, but I mean, I love it here. Thank you, Twitch. Anyway, I am also back to a favorite of mine, a little Modelo.
Modelo. I was looking for that when I was doing that shopping.
Yeah, man, I've been really been drinking a lot of this stuff. I mean, not to an unhealthy.
So you're an alcoholic, you're saying?
I'm not an alcoholic. I just drink too much and I have no self-control with alcohol, and also I become abusive and berate everybody when I drink too much and can't stop. But
that's just
an alcoholic.
No, that's typical. That's Wednesday night, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Why the hell is shield mode on our freaking... You don't forget it. I don't care.
It is?
That might have been me. I saw something pop up for moderators, and I thought that was the moderator panel or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'll close, or you could turn it off. I don't.
Shield mode quickly activate. Oh yeah, no, you do need it on. Sorry. So right now we have.
You could check our settings though. People might not be able to chat.
I mean, you know what? Fine, I'll turn it off for now. It's not like anybody. I don't care. I let people talk shit. It's America, damn it.
Boot it up.
America. Anyway, so yeah, I have Modelo, and I guess as usual, we start every episode apologizing why there's a long gap between episodes again. Let's see, what's the thing this time? Last weekend. First of all, I got COVID, so that was the first time we missed it. So that was fun. I popped my COVID cherry finally after 3 years.
It's good
Thank you,
stuff.
people in my thank you, people in my family who never got vaccinated. You finally got exactly what you wanted. You got me and my child sick. Thank you so much. Well done, team.
The irony.
Mm-hmm.
Vaccines are for pussies.
Yeah. So after 3 years of staying away from them, we were like, okay, seems like things are doing better now. Let's all hang out. And they're like, yeah, you should come over and visit. And we all got COVID. Just amazing. People just, yeah. But anyhow.
Speaking of vaccines, I'm officially an old person today because I went out and I got my shingles vaccine. Or at least the first round of it. You need your second round. So as my daughter pointed out, she's like, you got more nanobots in you. I was like, you bet.
Oh, how's your 5G reception?
It's better. It's cool. I'm actually connected to this stream through the 5G nanobots in my head.
Very nice. Well,
yes.
Well done. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, I really expected the vaccine to be, at least help me with COVID, but god damn, that thing fucking ran over me like a truck. Jesus.
Yeah, well, considering that lots of people died from it, who knows, it might have helped you with it. Cause,
yeah, that's the problem.
You're
we'll
still
never
here.
know. Yeah, I mean, I will say that I got over the really bad symptoms in like 2 days. Like 2.5. I still like have, even though it's a lot better, I did have that brain fog for a while. I still have it a little bit, and I still have like a little bit of a like residual cough from time to time. But overall, like after 2 completely horrible days, it faded fairly quickly. My kid barely had any symptoms. She was just lethargic and had a fever, and my wife is actually pretty much in the same state as I am. She's still like feeling it a little bit, but she's mostly over it.
So now, did you take the Paxlovid stuff?
I did not. She did eventually, because I think after she wasn't going to the first day because of actually what you guys said, but then the second day she felt so bad she just said fuck it and started taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is possibly why 9 days or so, almost 10 days after she got sick, she was still testing positive. She's not anymore. She's in the clear now, but she tested positive for a while. Her taste is still messed up. She never lost it, but like it definitely screwed it up a bit. So yeah, her symptoms definitely are dragging out longer than mine.
Yeah.
In some regards. So yeah. Also, apparently gives you diarrhea. So good time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I went through that same experience, and I was testing positive like 10 days later.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like all it does is like spread it out.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Well, let me get it over with and be done.
Well, maybe that's the point. Is like, if you're old enough, which I guess we were, it tries to reduce the maximum like peak part of it, and just dull the whole thing, but spread it out wide instead of letting it go high. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that could be it.
Who knows? Seems logical.
All I know is one night I hit, I think I mentioned I hit fever of like 104.5, which is technically you should be going to the emergency room. But I was like, nah, let's see what happens. And the next morning is when I started feeling better. So
Well, yeah, your body like burned it out of you.
Well, yeah.
How long did it take to break the sweat? Break the fever?
I don't know, but probably took out some brain cells while I was at it, though, I think. Baby. So I'm down to like my last 5 or so.
That you had some sweaty balls.
They weren't sweaty. They were. No, I'm sorry. They were. Yeah, so they were cool balls. Oh yeah, no, I was actually like covered in sweat. I was also delirious because it was in the middle of the night. The reason I knew that I had a high fever is because I was just having some really weird, like I was like half dreaming, half awake, but I couldn't tell what was real. So I'm like, oh, and I was covered in sweat. So I'm like, oh, let me take my temperature, and the thing's just like, you can see the thermometer is like climbing, and it's like 102, 102.5, 103, 103.5, 104, 104.5, 0.6. I'm like, oh god.
And then the top explodes like in the old cartoons,
And it's, by the way, and I didn't know that when you get to that high, it like it beeps and like flashes bright red at your face because it's like you should be you
can
die,
dying. Motherfucker.
Warning.
Right. So then my wife is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, Yeah, I'll be fine. She's like, oh, do you have a bad fever? I'm like, nah, thermometer is broken or something. Anyway, good night.
And her third question was, "You've paid the life insurance policy, right?"
So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, like I said, the next morning I woke up and my I think my fever was like 99. So yeah, I think I fried everything that needed to be fried and then some. So there you go.
Well, we're glad you're still with us today. Sorry, my dog's barking.
But thank you for clearing that up. I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah.
I thought you had a cat.
Speaking of, oh, you know what? I just heard something. Which, by the way, there might be another reason why you might lose me in the process. We have a severe thunderstorm incoming, and if you know anything about Duke Energy, which provides electricity for North Carolina, if a bird so much as takes a shit on our power lines, the entire state goes out. So
Well, it's too bad you don't have like a battery backup connected to your solar panels.
yeah. Not that Duke would let me use it anyway, because, well, that's a whole nother rant. Speaking of the whole electricity thing, I'm really pissed about this whole EV thing. As somebody who's now, like, being forced to buy a car, I have to buy another stupid fucking gas car because...
Don't talk to me. You're
No.
dead to me. Yeah,
Our car-
I'm...
Nobody makes a family car. Nobody makes an EV family car. Those just don't exist. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, unless I want to spend like 80 grand, which I do not. Even if I had it, I wouldn't prefer not to spend that much.
The van.
Well, the
There's
EV6 is a wagon, so it's got some decent space. I mean,
That's
not
enough.
like seven
No.
people.
No,
You
no,
could
no.
put a
It's not
bunch
about. It's not about actually people. There's cars that have plenty of space for people. The problem is like cargo and trunk space. That's where these things are fucking lacking.
I think the EV9 or something is supposed to be pretty huge.
Yeah, it's like 70 grand.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the thing. You can either buy like a small EV that doesn't fit our needs, or I can spend an insane amount of money for something that does. Not as someone that does not have an insane amount of money, I am stuck buying a gas car. And then maybe by the time, like, I get sick of it, maybe they'll finally figure out a charging standard that works. That's like a whole freak. That whole process has been absolutely insane. You have Elon Musk, who's just like, and I'm not defending Elon Musk, who years ago said, "Hey, we have this standard, what is it, North American Charging Center, NACS."
yeah. I think they
He's
just recently gave it that name, though. I don't know
Maybe it might have been called something else, but he's like, you guys can all have it. You can all use it. It's yours. I'm giving it away for free. Just I want everyone to use it, and guess what? If you all use it, we can all use the same chargers. And look what we have. We have a bunch of chargers. So if you make cars and you put our charging port in it, you have an instant like access to an entire charging network. And car manufacturers are like, no, fuck that. We're gonna do a much better thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this one port, and it's gonna be called J177 Double D Donut Gummy Bear Foxtrot Alpha.
Like,
And
well, the
then-
Star Wars droids, they're all like letters and numbers. That's cool.
Yeah, it
so it's
just
like a Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it totally rolls off the tongue. Consumers are totally going to know what that thing is called. But wait, on top of that, we're going to put a much bigger charger right next to it, with possibly even more confusing name called Shadamos, whatever the fuck that stands for. So you're going to have two chargers, and you're not going to know which one to use, and no one's going to understand anything, and it's going to be great.
Well,
And then,
no. So, go on, finish
No.
your...
And then I was going to say, and then a couple years later, after selling like millions of EVs, they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just this is too confusing. People don't understand what's going on. Let's come up with this other like format, and we'll make it universal. So we have this thing called CCS. Oh, great. Yeah, it's awesome. They're going to use it in Europe. We're going to use it in the US. It's going to be amazing. We're going to put it in all the cars. We got this. Let's go, team. We got this new charger. And just as soon as they finally got the standard going and started building stations everywhere that have this CCS shit, all of a sudden everyone's like, hey guys, it would be a good idea. Remember that Tesla charger? Yeah, let's do that instead. We're just going to do that now. Fuck it.
No, the cool thing was that CCS took the J177 XQLG
Keep
quantum
going.
whatever.
You're halfway into the
Um,
name.
yeah, exactly. They gave it balls, so it has those like two big, DC ports or whatever on the bottom. It's the equivalent of like putting balls on something. So, what they were doing was they were going for the people with their like big Ford F-150s with the truck nuts on them. They were like, "This Charger's got nuts, yeah, America." That's what the thought process, the marketing behind that was. In case you didn't know.
I believe it. I believe somewhere someone said, "This looks like it's got balls. Let's do it. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go further with it." Yeah. So yeah, basically the charging standard we had access to since 2000. When did Tesla go on sale? 2008. So
Yep.
to 12, 15, it took them 15 years to realize that the charger we had all along was just right there. It took them that long to decide that that's the thing that we should have fucking used from the very beginning. So
Well,
that's
they
great.
were all competing, so there now we have a winner.
But the
So
thing
what
is,
happens
but they
to
weren't even competing because Nissan was the biggest supporter of that J7 whatever the fuck, and the Chadmos thing, and then speaking of which, by the way, Nissan, who I believe at this point is committing a fucking crime, is still selling their Nissan Leaf that they're selling right now, today. If you go out and buy a brand new Leaf, still comes with that fucking J charger and the Chadmos in it.
wow.
Both of which are dead standards, and they're going to be selling this. I don't know, for a couple more years, maybe. What the fuck? And there's no adapters, nothing you can use. So people today who are basically buying fucking Nissan Leafs are buying something that they're going to have a lot of trouble charging outside of their house. Well, actually, as of now, and in a year or two, it's going to get even worse.
So,
So
yeah, what happens with all of not a Tesla level, but there's a significant number of CCS J1776, whatever the fuck those are, cars out there. And I know that Tesla has the magic dock on some of their stations, but certainly not all. Are they going to stop putting them on the few ones that they had?
are you
And
talking about
like,
the CC? Are you talking about the CCS ones?
yeah, the magic dock in
Yeah,
air
basically they're
quotes
gonna.
is a CCS
Yeah, CCS is basically going to be phased
adapter.
out, and everybody who bought cars with CCS chargers are going to get an adapter of their own. So, like Ford, GM, and some of the other, whoever chooses to participate in this freaking nightmare, is saying that if you bought a car with a CCS charger, we're going to give you an adapter, and then in 2025 and 26, they're just going to start putting the NACS chargers into cars. So CCS is basically going to be phased out in like the next 2 or 3 years,
Right.
which is it's just bananas to me. It's absolutely fucking bananas.
I mean, I don't think it's bananas, but I think it should have been done 5 years ago. But
They should have just gone with
if they're
with the Tesla charger right from the beginning. What
yes,
the?
I agree with that. But at least they're doing it now rather than making it worse.
Yeah.
Oh, well, be careful because we also said that about CCS. When CCS became the agreed upon standard, everyone was like, "Well, okay, the whole Chadmos thing is a pain in the ass, but okay, finally we at least have a standard the entire world uses. Okay, let's go. That's fine. We'll figure it out." And 2 years later, they're all of a sudden saying, "Never mind, we're changing again." So what's stopping them? In the
I
meantime,
mean,
what if tomorrow somebody comes out with CCS 2.0, which is better than the Tesla chargers, and they're gonna go, "Oh shit, yeah, let's go back to that now."
Because it's a
then somebody
competitive
should
market until it's the
assassinate
best
them.
business model for everybody.
I think they're all just completely dropping the ball with this shit. The fact that it's 2023 and they don't have, and they're still fighting over chargers, and none of them are actually making like full fleets of EV vehicles is ridiculous. Teslas have been on sale for well over a decade. The Nissan Leaf has been on sale for over a decade, and where the fuck are all like the Hondas, Toyotas, and GM cars? Like,
They
where are
they
these
didn't
huge
jump on the
cars?
bandwagon until a long time after.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's a
they're
really bad lack of foresight.
yeah. No, they're doing they want all the infighting to finish. They want all the standards to be set. They want to wait until the very end before they go, okay, now that all the dust settles, we will build our cars with this. We will build our cars with that. Like, according to them, this whole EV thing has either been a fad or, like it's happening too soon. Let's just wait and see what happens, because
That's what I was
they
gonna
have
say. They
no
were
idea.
resisting the technology 100% for like years.
Toyota's been doing that big time. Toyota, they were hedging their bets with
Hydrogen, right? Or
hydrogen.
hybrid.
Yeah, hydrogen and hybrids, and they were like, EV's not going to work out. The one EV that they had, the fucking tires kept falling off of it. So the Toyota, which is like one of the largest car manufacturers, second to Tesla, they were like, well, fuck this EV shit. Now they're like, oh no, like EV is taking off. We're going to have to deal with that. So it's just a lot of these manufacturers are like, they, it's like the old white business man model that they're going through.
I don't. Yeah,
Oh,
I
did
just.
we?
No, I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out. My
Oh,
camera's
okay.
been acting up. I thought maybe turning it
Um,
off and on would fix it. I doubt it will, but no.
they're setting their oh, they're set in their ways, and they are, they don't want to take that initial step, or they're like, hey, it takes too much money or time or insert resource here to change any of this. Meanwhile, Tesla, and I don't own a Tesla. I was like, fuck that. It was, when it came time to buy an EV, I went somewhere else. I got the EV6 because Tesla was a little bit too expensive and too long of a wait. So I was like, fuck that. But Tesla treats their production lines like they treat their software, in a iterate and rapidly get it out. They are not afraid of change. They're not afraid of, what, this worked well for the 2 months that we had it, but we have something that we could be doing better. Let's change that, and they will revamp their production lines. um, Maybe not everything that they do is the best choice. They uh, got rid of the all the radar and sonar sensors on their cars to go strictly uh, camera based, and
Well,
so far
he hates
that's
lidar.
yeah. Sandy Munro would be like FLIR, but anyway, like uh, the you look at the Tesla camera boards that they have, and they might have like 6 cameras in the car now, but their PCB boards have connectors for like 12 cameras if you did a teardown of the car.
That's good.
So like, Tesla is like, I think we could make an improvement here, and they make an improvement, period. So like, I mean, they iterate and they improve, and there's, unless these other car companies start doing that, you really won't be able to touch Tesla.
Right. Yeah. Again, to me, it's just a huge fucking lack of foresight by these companies. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, so that's generally what I'm pissed about. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'm really just generally annoyed.
I thought that was the whole brand of this channel.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't yelled enough. I've complained, but I'm not. I'm clearly not doing enough yelling. So, so yeah. So, but moving on to the happy parts of life, the extraction movies. Finally there's like a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Just knowing that somewhere out there, I can at any given time put on Extraction 2, and soon Extraction 3, just makes it all the worthwhile. Like sure, like I wake up and I see, the smile on my child's face, but I shove her out of the way so that I can go downstairs and watch Extraction again.
See, that's a reason for me to stay in bed.
Nice. That's the thing. It fits almost any mood.
It really does.
Right. It's everything. It's an action movie. It's a rom-com. It's a comedy. It's
it's so funny how he murdered all those people.
I know. You see, like their bodies bounced, and then they went limp because there was no life in them.
And it's like years of recovery. He's got a limp, and he's like, "I have a mission. Okay, heal."
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's just that awesome. That's the whole point.
No, it's great because it's yet another movie that scratches the same itch as as John Wick. Like, it's a very John Wick like series, in many ways. Like, as far as the way the combat's done, the way the gun stuff is done, it parallels the John Wick movies in many ways. If you, honestly, if you look at them, think about it. Both Extraction and the first John Wick movie start out in exactly the same way. What was it? In John Wick, the first one, the movie starts out with him sitting there, all beat to shit, look like he's bleeding out, he might die, and he whips out his phone and he's watching a video of his wife, who is now dead, on the beach, and he's remembering like his wife, and then it travels. The movie travels back in time and catches you up to that moment. Extraction is the same thing. It starts out with him sitting there, all beat to shit, bleeding out. He's not looking at a phone, but he's remembering his kid, who's also playing on the beach. Like, it is the same exact scene, where they're both about to face death or whatever, and they're remembering an important a family member who died tragically. Also, by the way, both I think died of cancer. So
yeah,
there's so many parallels. Like, both kind of have like a little bit of a death wish. Both kind of have to be dragged into this life that they might have wanted to leave behind. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that might be a bit stretch, but yeah, and then.
Although, what's his face? Shit, I'm blanking on his in-character name, but Hemsworth, he didn't get a dog though.
No, he got He didn't have a dog, but he also he has chickens.
Sure.
And
chickens don't resonate with viewers the same way as dogs.
No, but he hangs out. Like in Extraction 2, he's sitting on the couch and watching. What is he watching? Like the British Bake Off or something like that with his chickens or something.
Oh, speaking of, how are you still alive? Because you killed off Daisy. We had Daisy, and you killed her off. John Wick should have come for you long
I didn't
ago.
kill her off. What happened was Daisy kept making weird sounds. Also, at some point, Daisy was on fire. So for Daisy's sake,
she was on fire because she was
announced
rocking it.
And they spoke from a different name. It's like, don't label me Daisy.
Yeah, that's another thing. I named her Daisy, and the thing in chat kept saying Pando.
Yeah.
And I kept misreading that every time as Pedo, and I kept saying is Pedo wants a snack, and I'm like, what? What the fuck is this? I'm not feeding no Pedo. What is happening? So I just decided to until I figure out how to use Daisy correctly. She's not dead. She's sleeping.
She's sleeping in her kennel. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I'll accept that. Yeah, so back to the John Wick reference. I guess I never thought of it that way, but you're 100% right. Although I thought the second movie was much more similar to John Wick in the sense of cinematography. They did a whole lot more like
Yep.
steady one shot, follow it through. Because everyone always is like John Wick. They keep you in the action. They don't do like quick cuts. It's like a one time thing,
Right.
or like a long shot. And they did a lot more of that with Extraction too.
Yeah, the choreography in both movies is insane. But I will say this, in so much that it reminds me of John Wick movies, it actually also, like, I kind of have the same issue with Extraction as I do with the John Wick movies. And just
You can only watch so many in a day. That's the issue I have.
Right. Then
Only 24 hours.
no, my problem is that both with with Extraction and
Oops.
Oh, I think his PC. His machine rebooted.
Nope.
So I guess now we have some time to make
can
fun
you
of
guys not
Skip.
hear me?
Now we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
No, there you go. Yeah, I think it might be the thunderstorm. I think the thunderstorm might be fucking with my internet as well. But anyway, so what I was saying before was that I have the same issue with Extraction as I do with John Wick movies, in so much that the first Wick movie and the first Extraction movies are actually my favorite of the series. I still enjoy John Wick 1 more than the rest of them. And I liked as amazing as Extraction 2 was, and I do love that movie. I like the first one more, and the reason is because they both suffer from the same problem. There's a diminishing amount of return on the stakes in the movie. So if you watch so now we've had like 4 John Wick movies. I haven't seen the 4th one yet, but even by the 3rd one, in the first one he's like, there's uncertainty and there's a certain vulnerability to him where he does fuck up, he does get hurt, he could potentially die. Same thing with Chris Hemsworth, where he actually sort of dies at the end of the first one. As the movies progress, they both become borderline invincible superheroes, and where like at the end of John Wick 3, he gets shot and falls off a fucking the top of a hotel, bounces off a bunch of balconies and slams in on the ground and is somehow alive. Same thing in Extraction 2.
Yeah.
He goes pure fucking hell and is still like in the first one.
Gets a shot through the neck.
Yeah, they finally managed to put him down, which I thought was really cool. In the second one, it doesn't even come close to him getting hurt. He's completely invincible through that entire fucking movie, to the point where like he, as you saw that one scene, he as a helicopter is pelting him with machine gun fire, he just gently stands behind a little ladder full of holes and just sort of lets them finish, and then comes out and just guns down a helicopter. Like, is it awesome? Yes, but that man is unstoppable in the second one, completely. Like, it's crazy. So, and I think that's gonna continue in the third one. In the third one, he's just gonna like I don't know, just like throw a rock at a plane, and I think it's gonna explode in midair.
If that happens, I'm sending you $100.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in Wick, if you look at what he goes through in the first movie, like he only beats up like a couple of guys at a time, and he takes like a pretty bad beating. The second movie starts out by him getting hit by cars multiple times,
yeah,
and he just gets back up and continues to beat the fuck out of everybody in sight.
Because
and in the third one, it goes completely even over the top with that shit.
That damage, the whole force of the car hitting him is being spread across his whole body. So like
he did a horizontal brake fall on the windshield.
Exactly. It's like when you lay on that bed of nails, because you're laying down on it, the nails don't puncture your body. You can sit on it. It's
okay.
fine.
As somebody who has been hit by a car, I can tell you that's not how it works.
No. I mean, you just didn't do the fancy John Wick movie.
Yeah, you don't have that skill.
Yeah, if you had that skill,
I'm sorry, it was a skill
you would have been able to get like with anything in
I thought it was.
It's a brake fall. It's a brake crash.
Exactly.
No.
If you do the math,
No, in the
all of
second
that
one,
was completely survivable.
in
It's
the
easy.
second one, that car, and I'm talking about the first one because I think he gets hit by like 3. In the second movie, the cab, when he's in that garage trying to get his car back, he's standing up and a car just T-bones him like right like into his fucking midsection. He like flips over, it falls down, gets up, and beats the shit out of the driver. I mean, come on, man.
Because,
It's
I'd
pretty
be
crazy.
angry if someone just hit me with a car, so I'd beat the shit out of the driver.
Yeah,
That's not
I
true.
would.
That's not true. When that old woman hit you with her car, you did not beat the shit out of her at all. In fact, if I remember,
That's true, but
you
that's
just-
just because I felt
No.
bad.
No, you exchanged insurance information, and that would have made for a way more boring John Wick movie. Like, if you get hit by a fucking cab, and he's like, hold on, sir.
John Wick 5. I have my Geico card.
You're lucky I have Allstate.
This is my license to kill card. I have a $1 million
and,
coverage.
If I had a mattress for every time a ladder deflected bullets from me, I wouldn't need this podcast. So
Anyway, so that's my point. Is what I'm saying. As enjoyable as these movies are, the level, the inhuman level of power and survivability on these main characters just goes up to a point where it's like, okay, the action is really great, but at no point do I feel like they're in any kind of danger at all anymore.
That's like I said before, in the montage of him like recovering, he's like, "Well, I got a mission." 2 years of limping and 2 months of working out harder repairs the body.
I will say in both movies he always has like some kind of like arm sling and a cast, which he wears for like 5 minutes and then he's completely fine.
Yeah.
Like like they bandage him up and then somebody starts firing at him. He's like, well, fuck this whole healing thing. I'm fine now. I mean, granted, in the first one, there was the guy who he was going up against also got hit by a fucking truck, and his main injury was solved by him just snapping his nose back into place, and he was completely fine after that. So, speaking of which, they never closed the loop with the first movie. He was
no,
alive,
that kid's still out there. They might circle back to him.
Yeah, I hope so. It's a bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
It's like he had a whole bonding moment with that kid.
Yeah, but they have to give it some time for like both the kids, the good kid and the bad kid, to grow back up. And
Yeah, but
then,
notice how at no
like-
point in Extraction 2, after he survived, at any point did he go, hey, should go see if that kid's okay? We had a nice bond going.
Well, they kind of took care of that at the post-credit scene of the first movie. You assume that was him.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I assume that scene would have been somewhere in the second movie, but they kind of just glazed over that, where they're just like, "You're fine. Go live in a cabin."
They're
with
doing a
chickens."
tricky trick. They're gonna make it a callback in the third one, so it has extra value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder who the fuck he's gonna extract in the third one.
That's the thing. He's going to become a dentist and extract teeth. You never saw that coming.
He's gonna go deep dive to go save some people from a submarine.
Oh, God.
Wow, that was a horrible segue.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Jesus.
Come on, man. Those people just compressed like a few days ago. Give people time to cope with the tragedy. So, man, I was surprised how I was surprised by how much that story held me. I felt like genuinely like upset about the whole thing. I know people were being like dicks and just like, oh, don't worry about it. There's just a couple of billionaires on board. Nothing of value was lost. And it's like, all right, yeah, I get it. Like, nobody likes rich people, and sure, these people are complete fucking idiots for getting into this thing, but just like picturing these people being stuck in that fucking soup can underwater, slowly running out of air, and like in the darkness. Oh God, that was like torture. So when I found out that they just pretty much died instantly, that was pretty much a relief. Like,
yeah.
Thank God they didn't suffer. God damn, that would have been horrible.
No, it was instant, millisecond, like total annihilation explosion. It just imploded.
Yeah, they said they're not even sure that they knew anything was wrong. They might have like heard some kind of weird sound, and somebody might have been like, "Oh shit," and then that was it.
No, someone probably said, "Did you hear that?" And that was it.
Yeah.
And
Not even.
honestly, like that, there were like 5 innocent people on there, and like one person that
4.
got their
4.
comeuppance.
I
Oh,
would
I
say
thought it
4.
was 5 and the whoever,
No, I
the
think it was 5
pilot or
people
what.
total.
Oh,
It was.
so
It was.
then
It was.
4, and because the CEO of the company
Well, that's
was
that was the really weird part. Like, he must have known that this thing was a death trap. So why the fuck did he go in it? Why the fuck did he go in it?
I have no
He-
idea, but
There was
I
a
mean,
whole article about how he was like famous for saying the entrepreneurs are successful when they know how to cut corners, and then it was describing how he was like bragging about, yeah, we use these materials instead of like industry standard. And
Yeah, he kept bragging about that he's not. His whole thing was like, we don't listen to old white men on how to build these things. We have a young, diverse team working on this. So there's some new ideas and new ways of thinking, and that did work well.
and what's his face? What was it? James Cameron or whatever, that director that went down in like over 30
I mean, world's greatest
submarine
driver,
things.
James Cameron.
yes. In 2023, James Cameron dove beneath the sea.
I can't believe you still remember that.
Oh my god, I have
Did I
no idea what
forget?
you're talking about.
Oh my god. Kevin,
Future
what
Man,
the
come
fuck are
on.
we going to do with you?
One of the best episodes of Future Man, where they break into Cameron's house and they have a whole interaction with that AI in his house.
Oh my
So every
god,
time-
I actually quasi might be remembering that one. That's hilarious.
yeah. Well, like every time I mention James Cameron, it always puts like some kind of like superlative like adjective before it. It's like, oh, you've made it into the piano room. Of the
Yes, oh my
greatest
god,
musician,
of all of
James
them,
Cameron.
I didn't really even watch the series, but I did see that one. Holy shit.
Oh, it was incredible. But anyway, so what was I saying? But okay, but anyway, yeah. So the sub thing's sad, but extraction good. You know what? That was the thing. The one thing in Extraction 2 that bugged the living shit out of me, which again, I know like I'm asking for a lot for deep plots and no plot holes. The thing with the satellite phone though really seemed that was like a stretch to me. So like when the kid steals a satellite phone, like
Oh
okay,
yeah, that was
so-
stupid.
like first of all, there's no way that guy would have just left his satellite phone unlocked or unsecured.
Mhm.
Second of all, he would have definitely noticed that it was missing when the kid
Yeah.
took it. Somebody would have been like, "Where the fuck is my phone?" And the notion that this kid who's been stuck in a not Ukrainian, what Serbian, what prison are they in?
I don't know.
Anyway, one of those.
Third
Some-
world country.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Albanian, I think.
Was it Albanian? Whatever. Who's been stuck in the prison by memory knows his estranged uncle's phone
Mhm.
number
Yeah.
that he's able to call him and text him. And again, like nobody's the wiser that he's doing this. That part was so fucking stupid.
Hmm.
So the movie could happen.
Yeah, basically, like yeah, that like I can't believe no one like they completely just phoned that part in. It also means that the
Literally and figuratively.
kid,
Around that.
and it also means that the kid had absolutely no point to be in this movie except to just kind of like fuck them
Yeah.
all over.
Be the monkey wrench.
But you knew
Yeah.
that the instant you saw him, and he's like, "I'm gonna be one of those guys, Mom." And she's like, "Yeah, son, you suck."
Yeah, that's some bad parenting, by the way.
Yeah.
The fuck. Oh, and the other thing, also, so Chris Hemsworth is, by the way, I keep forgetting his name in the movie. He has a really like stupid.
Yeah, it was
basic
like
name.
Kate
Some-
or Kite
Rake.
or some
It's Rake.
Rake.
His
Rake. Thank you.
His last name was Rake. Is it Tyler Rake? Taylor Rake?
I
Something
think
like that?
so, Tyler.
It might be.
Anyway. Okay. So hold on. Let's work the timeline here. Because he says he met this kid when they're talking on the balcony. He says, "You may not remember, but you met me and my son years ago when he was still alive." So that means, since he's the son of this Albanian, Serbian, whatever guy, that means that Chris Hemsworth's wife's sister was already married to this horrible criminal, because they give you his backstory and they say they were these horrible murderous criminals their entire life. So that means Chris Hemsworth knew that she was married to this horrible person and had kids with him, and that didn't like raise any flags. Like no one thought that was a problem years ago. No one.
Well, I mean, it might have been like the kid was a teenager, so he might have been, let's say he was like 15. So, I mean, his son looked like he died when he was like 6, so it might have been like a decade ago. A
But
bunch could happen.
but a decade ago, right? So 10 years ago, she would have been married to one of the worst criminals in the world, and Chris Hemsworth, who was totally like aware of all this, was just sort of like, whatever.
Well, maybe he was just an up and coming criminal back then. He wasn't like one of the worst criminals.
No, they said that they were they were into crime since they were children, and when they were teenagers, they started like doing these weird jobs and murdering everybody. And by the time they were like even remotely of adult age, they were already like renowned and world known like murderers, killers, and leaders of this horrible organization. So no, he would have totally known who this guy was at that point. How was this not addressed years before? Huh?
So the movie could happen.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's it. Those are the only two plot holes in the movie. Everything else makes total sense. And as usual, I'm just looking for things to complain about because goddamn, that movie is awesome. They're both awesome. God, they're so fucking good.
Yeah,
It's such an injustice that that they didn't release these movies in theaters. They must be kicking themselves at this point because they're really popular. They were really good. Both were really well received. Like everyone pretty much unanimously loved both movies. The second one got like, I wouldn't say critical acclaim, but it got like almost universal like positive reviews from everybody. So, yeah. And now, of course, as a result, Marvel's begging Chris Hemsworth to come back to do another Thor movie.
yeah.
They suddenly realize they need him a lot more than he needs them. Because he's just, and they're going to be basically, not only are they making a third movie, but, they're they're planning to make a cinematic universe out of the Extraction universe as well. So Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, and then there's going to be a spin-off, and it's all about the franchise nowadays. I mean, you have that with John Wick. You have the ballerina coming out. You have the Continental TV show coming out.
Oh my god!
There's at least another John Wick. John Wick 5 is coming out. Then
you know what I would watch?
Going to have
my god,
an Akira spin-off.
You would watch none of that, Kevin. We would tell you to watch it. You would watch none of it.
No, if they did, just a little like, I don't know, just the operator staff, and like, in the water cooler room, and like lunch break, and it's just like The Office, but it's that staff. It's just that office. Like, how fucking cool would that be?
That would be awesome, and I have all faith that they are absolutely gonna do that. I'm sure that's gonna be.
Oh my god. Just a bunch of tattooed women talking, like, let's say in the theme of, office banter, but on that
total
scale.
Mundane stuff, like, I went home and made a TV dinner and she's got like 18,000 piercings, and you're like, no, this person was at a rave, right? Please tell me that.
Now I want the show to exist. God damn it. Yeah.
You were supposed to have a listing 5 minutes ago, damn it. So much disrespect.
It's great because Keanu is going to make cameos in all of these shows as well. Like, he's definitely like that kind of guy.
Oh my god.
Who's totally going to make an appearance and everything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, god.
Even if it's like one shot where he's like, "Hi, ladies," and then like walks out,
Just here to pick up my dog. Don't mind me. See ya.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're
sorry. I thought this was a different conference room.
So at this point, everything and everyone is going to have their own like cinematic universe. So it's like Fast and the Furious is not going to have a cinematic universe. They already, as I told you, as soon as the series is done, they're going to like do a bunch of spin-offs. So that's already
not done yet.
Yeah. Marvel obviously has their cinematic universe. In fact, ironically, the only one who's the only people failing to pull off a cinematic universe is DC.
DC.
Yeah. They can't. Oh my god. So I don't know if you heard, but the Flash movie is. I mean, it bombed the first weekend, but the second weekend it completely just tanked and went like it's gone, like it's done. Its theatrical run is basically done.
Really?
Good. It'll be streaming that much sooner.
It made under $60 million the first week. It made $15 million in its second week.
Seriously?
It was the biggest. It was one of the biggest drops ever. It was like a 75% drop.
Wow.
But 60's not even that much on the first weekend.
No, it was considered a disaster weekend, and they thought, well, at least maybe it'll have some legs, and no, it did not. It went from being barely beating out Spider-Man in its first week to it's now. So it went from barely being in first place to almost finishing fourth.
It did beat Spider-Man though.
No.
The first weekend, yes. Now Spider-Man is back
really?
at number 1. Yes.
Wait. When was Spider-Man? So Spider-Man had been out already. It didn't.
It barely beat Spider-Man.
Oh, it didn't meet. Oh, it didn't beat Spider-Man's like opening night.
No. Spider-Man trounces. Spider-Man.
Tons.
A ton of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially after there's 2 versions of the movie. Or more than one.
Yeah, that was clever. Now people are totally gonna go back and try to watch the other one. That was
or other theaters. That was really smart, especially in a multiverse theme situation.
Exactly.
And they could do it with anime.
So I'm wondering what's gonna happen when they release it on streaming and like DVD, Blu-ray. Like, are you just gonna wind up with one of the versions? Are you gonna wind up with like deleted scenes?
If they're smart, they'll milk it out. They'll be like, which one will you get in the box? And then after like a year or two, they'll do like a box case where it's like, all 3 movie versions.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It does depend on how many versions they have, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's not like, it's just sort of like, it might be the same animation, but from, I don't know, the thing I saw was slightly different, the words that the people were saying, but it was still the same scene and like the same content, but just
different dialogue, same scene,
different perspective. Yeah, like one was, a full on, or instead of like a close up to the guy or whatever. Which is so cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty neat, I thought.
Although, the thing that gets us interested now are like fourth wall type of creativity instead of actual content. I mean, no, this movie was awesome with content, but like just in general.
Yeah, and it's doing well. So now I'm sure the third one's going to do even better. But I don't know what they're going to be doing at DC because Black Adam was considered a financial failure, and it looks like Black Adam is going to make like 3 to 4 times as much money as the Flash. So the only person having a really good laugh about this is Zack Snyder, who, by the way, all the shit they gave him and all the shit that he got from people, his movies actually made a ton of money. Whereas as soon as he left, all the DC movies began to instantly bomb left and right.
Yeah, they can't get anybody.
All of them tanked. James Gunn's what do you call them? Suicide Squad movie tanked. Birds of Prey tanked. The Flash tanked. Black Adam, I mean, I think it did okay, but apparently it was a huge financial disappointment as well. What else? What else was there? They canceled Batgirl. They didn't even release that. The movie was done, and they didn't release it, right? Yeah, they scrapped it because they said it was unwatchable.
Oh my god!
And the only
think of how bad
Shazam tanked really bad too.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, we saw it.
So.
Just
you
think
the second one or the first one?
Second one.
How bad that movie had to have been if they wouldn't release it because it was that bad, and like all these other movies.
They basically decided the cost of distribution would be more than what it would bring in. That's basically what they did.
Yeah.
What is that nowadays?
Just bandwidth? They said it was going to hurt the brand. No, no, because there's marketing and stuff like that. Marketing, actually, at this
Yeah.
point, they said that marketing costs more than like the movie production stuff. Like the Flash costs something like $200 million to make, but I think the total, they said in order to break even, it had to make like $600 or $700 million, and
God damn.
But they
it
might have to pay
barely
theaters like a minimum. Some
theaters get
kind of like low level.
theaters get 50%.
But you don't think there's a minimum? I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing. Like, in other
Theaters
words,
get
for a theater to do it, they're just 100% on like the 50%.
yeah
100% of on the 50%.
Yeah, you know what I mean,
yeah
right? Like, not like
Yes.
a base and then plus 50%.
yeah 50% of the time it works every time. Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
But like, my
yeah
point is a cost to send copies or license or whatever to the various theaters. There's got to they
yeah.
probably just cut it out.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, I honestly at the end of the day I just feel bad for Michael Keaton because he's in it. That just feels. Do you guys? Oh, actually, speaking of which, are you guys gonna see it? Because I decided I don't give a shit, so I just watched basically like I watched just the ending that leaked online because I didn't give a shit.
No, I will
For
definitely see it,
for what?
For the flat.
but I'm not going to
I
go to
Oh.
the movie theater.
Oh, I completely ruined the movie for myself because I just didn't give a shit. So okay, so you don't know how it ends. You don't know
I do
who,
not.
like all the cameos and everything in it. Okay.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I will walk away for like 2 minutes if you want me to.
No, it's okay. I think anybody who cares has probably already seen it or has had it ruined for themselves. So I'm not gonna tell anybody something they haven't seen. And the people that do want to see it, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But it's yeah. Let's just say they asked a couple of people to be in it, and those people just told them to go fuck themselves, and they must be very relieved right now because Jesus Christ.
Did they do the Superman at the end of Shazam thing where it's like, we'll shoot them from the chest down?
No, well, yes and no. They used CGI and they used there's a few actual cameos and there's a bunch of CGI shit. The CGI shit they got a lot of they got a lot of crap from fans for. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but fans were very unhappy with who they CGI'd into the movie, and then the people who actually cameoed, everyone just felt really bad for because this movie.
Hey, you wasted a whole day on that shit.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Fucking anyway, it's basically a complete fucking disaster. And now the only movie they have left is, excuse me, the only thing they have left still coming out on DC Plate is the Blue Beetle. I think is still coming out. And
Really?
I
So
think we
we're
all know
doing.
that's not. Yeah, we know that's not gonna make any
Yeah.
money, so they are completely fucked.
We're doing so poorly. Let's do a movie about some obscure superhero that nobody knows about.
Maybe it actually carries the whole thing because it's so
Well, DC
new.
So DC is weird. I don't know enough about DC to know who's like known or not known. I never heard of the Blue Beetle until they announced that his movie's coming out. But apparently in the DC universe, he's somewhat known. I don't know. I just don't
Really?
give a shit about. I think all of DC is kind of boring anyway.
Yeah.
So their only saving grace is the other. So they do have the other DC universe that they're doing that's completely disconnected from these from these big blockbuster movies. So they have the Joker movie, and there's a second one coming out with the Joaquin Phoenix. The sequel to that first Joker movie, where he's the weird Joker movie. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
The like.
The
Yeah, I
Joker movie that
think.
came out with
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix
yeah,
a couple years
yeah.
ago.
I think so.
Yeah, like the artsy fartsy one.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
So there's a second one coming out of that, which is going to be apparently some weird musical, and then there is a second, and then there's the sequel to the Batman coming out with what's his name, with Robert Pattinson.
Mhm.
Both that Batman and that Joker movie made a ton of fucking money.
Yeah.
The Joker made over $1 billion, and I think the Batman came very close to that, if not the same number. So those movies are pretty much the only thing that they have saving their asses at this point.
Funny, those are the two movies I haven't seen yet.
Oh, you really? Oh, you should. Actually, they're both really well. The Joker's okay. The Joker's all right. Like it's good.
I didn't see that one.
But you should see them both. They're both Okay, well, okay. So in my
I
humble
got
opinion,
halfway through Sparkly Vampire
that was
Batman.
great. I love Batman. I
Yeah.
thought the Batman was great.
I thought it was good.
Uh, I thought that maybe the very end was a little sloppy and kind of dumb, but overall, I thought it was. I actually really liked it. Like it was just made like I love how it was gritty and like dirty and raw and like that's exactly how I would want a Batman movie to be. And I like the fact that it made the Batman the main character, not Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne just showed up for a little while to be a little annoying, whiny emo kid, and the thing was focused solely on the Batman. By the way, the what's his name? Colin Farrell, who did the Penguin in it. They have a show coming out on HBO about his character. It's going to be a mini series focused specifically on the Penguin.
Oh my god.
Apparently it's rated like almost NC-17 and is incredibly violent. So I can't wait.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of, when's the next season of The Boys supposed to come out?
Not soon enough.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll be fantastic.
That show is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's arguably the best
nuts.
superhero show out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon has like all the best superhero shows. What's the other one? Invincible was really awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
They didn't come out with a second season of that yet, did they?
No, he's actually been getting a lot. Him and Seth Green have been getting. Not Seth Green. Sorry, Seth Rogen have been getting a lot of shit because they've come out with a couple of teasers about season 2. The teasers are basically making fun of the fact that they haven't announced a date or anything about it. Like there's literally like I think a teaser where Invincible and Seth Rogen's character, that weird alien that he meets, are just sitting in a diner and making fun of people like who are complaining that season 2 has not been announced yet.
Are they in a diner eating shawarma?
I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be really really cool. And I never finished the Boys spin-off thing, the animated ones. Did you guys see all of them?
Oh shoot, yeah, I don't know if I finished that either, but that was kind of an anthology, I believe. So like, I think they were just like stories set in that universe, done in different styles and everything.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the Animatrix for the Boys. It was all right. I saw a few of them. They were okay. They had their moments.
Oh, I don't think I finished that whole thing.
They
had one made by the Rick and Morty people that was pretty funny. Or I guess you're not allowed to like Rick and Morty anymore. I'm sorry.
I thought he was. Didn't they say that wasn't the case? Weren't like charges or whatever dropped, or is that back on again?
All the charges were dropped, but his reputation is pretty much ruined.
Was it like dropped because they settled, or
who knows? Like who knows what actually happened? Something happened. The thing is over. I don't know. He claims that he's completely vindicated, and then he went about it in this kind of like, see, I said I was innocent. I told everybody I was innocent. But dude.
Oh, we lost you. Lost you, Mike.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can't see you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to work on my camera issues. So they said that, like, dude, we still have like all those fucked up texts that you sent to people. You might not have like done some of the truly horrible things that people said, but you're still a piece of shit.
Oh. I never read that much into it. It's like, just like, it's annoying when you get into a show and someone involved is like, oh, couldn't keep my dick in my pants, so I ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, that's why I don't make shows, because I definitely cannot keep my dick in my pants. So I'm not touching Hollywood or anything like that, because I would get canceled instantly.
No, masturbation is okay.
Wash your hands first.
It's not done in a public place.
What's the point of doing it if you're not going to do it in a public place, though?
Never mind, then.
Yeah.
I guess the podcast was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. Don't tell me how to do my grocery shopping, Jerry, okay?
Why do you think there's hand sanitizer all over the place?
It's called Wegmans for a reason.
Doom, doom.
Notice how I could have gone with giants, but I'm trying to keep it realistic here. So.
Good times. Damn, like in my mind, I'm going through other grocery store names. I'm like, please, like figure something out.
Come on, man. There's so many. I mean, Harry T.
I can't fit Wawa into it. You know, like,
Stop and Shop.
Very well.
No one
Righty.
thought of the Piggly Wiggly. Come on, the Piggly Wiggly. Come on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, the point is, kids, don't whip it out in public. It's just not how you do things. Sorry. I should have said that for my closing thought tonight.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, keep it in your pants. So, yeah. What was I gonna? So, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna talk about Extraction a lot more, but I honestly I can't say much about it except for the fact that it's awesome. Like, I just love the fact that we live in a time where they're actually making really awesome action movies again. There's been like a serious drought of that shit, and then we have like the Wick movies and Extraction, and it's so good to just completely turn like even to the extent like I think even like the Fast and Furious movies lately have been a bit of a letdown in that regard, mostly because of Vin Diesel's ego, but like it's so good that there's still movies where you can legitimately just turn your fucking brain off and just sit there and watch amazing choreography and action sequences. Just fucking, so good.
I thought
I have to say, I
Bullet
think
Train was pretty good. That had some action.
That was a fun movie.
Bullet Train was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but it's nowhere near the level.
It had
that.
no crazy action.
That's
yeah.
It's hard to watch other action movies right now because a lot of them, like even like the good ones, the Wick movies and Extraction movies just take that to such a level where it's not that they're. I mean, yeah, they're well shot. The choreography is great, but it's the length of these segments that makes the movies so. Like you're sitting at the edge of your seat. When I watched that sequence in the second one, by the time think about it, it starts. The entire shot is them going into the prison, him getting the family out, him fighting through a bunch of guards and the father, or whatever, in the basement of the prison, getting into the prison yard, doing that entire fight in the prison yard
with the woman.
Right, with the woman while on fire, then doing a car chase, then doing a warehouse shootout, and then doing that entire train scene, and then the train crash. That is insane.
And he wasn't strapped in.
Yeah, that was insane. Meanwhile, other movies that are commendable and respectable action movies have like 2 or 3 minutes of really cool action scenes with 30 different cuts going on where you barely know what the fuck's happening, and they're good on their own merit, but like this, holy crap.
Yeah, it's the difference between like with that cut and like angle and sort of making the camera move to show, intense action. This was rooted camera and a bunch of people doing a bunch of shit for like 5 seconds per shot.
And honestly, good editing. There were cuts in there, but they
of course,
did it so it was like a one frame thing. And you know what? That's
switched angle.
Pretty. That takes skill to do.
I know that like that. I know there's people that are gonna bitch that we don't bring up what is it in that movie? 1917. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
So unfortunately, I haven't seen that. 1917, I believe, it's obviously about World War One, but it's the entire movie. It's a 2-hour war movie that takes place, I think, on a beach, maybe. Anyway, the whole thing is one continuous shot.
Oh wow!
The entire fucking like war sequence of like bomb and shooting and running and foxholes and all this other shit is one continuous shot.
I think I heard that before.
Yeah, it's supposed to be incredible. I'm pretty sure.
When did this movie come out?
A couple of years ago. Did you not hear about it? It was
I
One,
don't
like,
recall if I.
That's what I'm thinking, is that I did recall the one-shot movie.
yeah, it won like a ton of Oscars, obviously, but yeah. So I'm sorry that I still have not seen it, but that's got to be a pretty good example of that as well. I'm
Those.
trying to.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say those long shots are amazing and they suck you in, and it's like one step below Hardcore Henry, which I feel like did that the best. That movie was batshit fucking crazy,
Yeah, I'm
and it
trying to
was
remember.
amazing.
Does that break anywhere? Like, does he ever like pass out or something like that? I don't
He
remember.
does, yes, he does like get knocked out at one
Yeah.
point, but it's
Oh, that movie is
it's
so
so good.
underrated.
Yeah,
Such an underrated friggin' movie. Yeah, that's another one I want to go back to. I can't believe they didn't make a second one.
yeah, that was.
Or I can't. I'm actually surprised no one else made a movie like that. That was yeah, that was another really great.
It was genius, and it like sucked you in, and like you were, you were there. That shit was happening to you the whole time.
Yeah, and then just when you think it was like winding down, um, uh, the whatchamacallit, they had that crazy last sequence on the roof where he's fighting like
Yep,
50 guys or something.
that was amazing.
Yeah. If you're hearing some kind of background noise, that might be my vent. That should go away momentarily, hopefully. But yeah,
It's only
anyway.
when you speak.
No. Oh.
I don't hear it.
But anyway, yeah. But I mean, there's nothing really much more I can say about that. That was so freaking good. I'm trying
Is
to think.
there?
Oh, so you? Yes.
I was going to ask about the. I'm very curious to get into AI movie previews. Is there like a website doing that?
Oh, I don't know. I put that down a while ago because they had like there were like a couple of good AI movie previews that were, I mean, it's not actually coming out, but there was like Back to the Future 4, but they're taking the characters and the actors and they're using AI to generate these preview scenes. And it's interesting though because like the fact that they can do it, and B, like I wonder if the movie studios or whatnot would be like, like some dumb fuck put out this fake movie preview and there's like 180 million people going, oh my god, I want to see that movie, I want to see that movie. Like, should we make that movie? Kind of thing. It's interesting, and I wonder how long before people are just putting together their own movies because they want to see it and releasing it. So you'll have like 17 different versions of Back to the Future 4 with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd and whoever they want in it,
Not what people are going to be using that technology for. That's not. Let's be real.
Yeah. It'll be
people are going to be like, wait, I can make movies with real actors or real people. I know what I'm going to make. I'm going to make a PG rated trailer for Back to the Future 4. They're going to be like, all right,
yeah,
gangbang number 7. Here's like,
Yeah.
It's going to be completely fucking.
It'll be what was that? Strange Days.
Oh God, that's a throwback.
That's an amazing movie. That was a great movie.
It was. I haven't seen it, so I can barely remember it, but I know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
Oh, you would like it.
You would. It's with Ray Fiennes, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I did see it.
And I think Angela, but you probably saw it.
It's like a little bit cyberpunky in 1990. It's supposed to take place in 1999, and it's like kind of like a reboot of the old 1980s movie Brainstorm, where basically
That's pretty funny though.
Well, yeah, Brainstorm was the same kind of thing, although maybe from a different perspective, not so rapey. But
Wow, I definitely don't remember that movie as much as I thought. I do not remember the rapiness.
The whole point of it is like you wear this headset and it records everything, all the sensory inputs from you, sight, sound, feelings, whatever, and then
Touch.
someone else puts the headset on and plays it back. So I'm too
Cyberpunk.
afraid to I'm too afraid to jump out of an airplane, but if someone else did it and recorded it, I will watch it and get every every bit of the feeling of the experience from my armchair. So, and of like Strange Days goes into the seedier aspects of the technology and like the
sex trade and
bad
stuff
people.
like that.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
murder trade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all explored in Cyberpunk too.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
I think you would appreciate the movie.
Mm.
You'd enjoy it.
Also, watch Virtuosity while you're at it.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's a movie with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington. That has to do more with like the transcendence conversation we had last. It's like a combination of transcendence and virtual reality. It's when they truly did not understand any of it, and it's actually more funny than anything. But you should watch it. It's pretty funny what people's idea of that technology was back then.
Oh sure.
Boy, he's young.
Who?
Denzel in that movie.
Well, yeah. Also, he doesn't fucking age. He could be 95 in that movie. You wouldn't know. Anyway, I am requesting a beer/bathroom break.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
So I will be right back and find
because after that I do want to talk about some games
mutes.
that I tried. I have more game recommendations and warnings.
All right. I'm going to mute.
Sorry I took a longer break. I wanted to watch Extraction 2 real quick.
No one can blame you.
Give me some of that Chris Hemsworth.
Or TheRock.
Yeah, what happened? TheRock? Oh God. Look, as someone who's done nothing but cream his pants about TheRock for the last I don't know how many years. Man, that guy is. I feel kind of okay. I don't feel bad for him.
He's tanking,
obviously, but he's made some very poor decisions lately.
Yeah.
Well,
blackadam.
Yeah, well, because he tried to basically screw everybody over at DC, failed miserably, made this whole big stink about it, and then not so gracefully exited, and crawled back to Vin Diesel and the Fast and Furious franchise. Which, look, I'm happy he's back with the Fast and Furious, but oh, dude, that's gotta hurt.
Mm-hmm.
After all that shit talking. Oh man.
Well, don't let your ego get bigger than you.
Yeah, tell that to Vin Diesel, man. He's apparently really pissed off that. So basically, what just came out? Fast 10, right? That's the new one. It obviously didn't do that great. It did all right, but not like nearly as well as some of the previous installments. And he's apparently really pissed off that A, it didn't do well, and B, that Jason Momoa apparently got a ton of attention for his performance in it, which took all the attention, of course. So he's both pissed that Momoa got all the attention, and he's also blaming Momoa's acting because Momoa was the main villain. He's blaming Momoa for the movie not doing well. Because he's like, oh, he overacted, he overdid it, like, people don't like that shit, and can we go back to talking about me, please? Thank you.
I feel like people are only going to the movie theaters for a few movies, and that's it anymore.
Yeah, good. We need to all stop going to the movie theater.
Yep.
Stop it. I will. I already said I am never going back to the theater ever again. Every time I watch a movie at home, I'm like, this is why I never go to the theater. It's so great, especially when you watch a movie that you're really excited about, and it turns out to be a complete piece of shit, and you're like, oh my god, I could have wasted an entire evening and like $50 seeing this piece of shit, but you know, I didn't. So yay me.
Right.
Now I got. Oh yeah, I also got a new sound system downstairs, which is great because I can never use it because the kids always sleeping. Whenever I have time to watch any of the kids asleep, so I'm back to just using headphones anyway. So I don't know why. But when I first set it up, when I first bought it and set it up, oh, it sounds so good. It's all kinds of surround and what do you call it? Spatial audio, whatever the fuck.
That's cool.
It's all, yeah. It's like Chris Hemsworth was right there in my living room shooting people from like this direction to that direction, and then he's in that direction, and he's behind me, and then he's in front of me, and so much extraction happening in my living room. And then you get ridiculous.
Daddy, motherfucker.
God damn it.
Extraction. I'm just gonna leave you there. God damn it, so I can watch my fucking movie.
Yeah, honey, I love you, but I would not pay Chris Hemsworth to save you from anything.
I'd pay Chris Hemsworth to save me from you.
Yeah, I would like to be extracted by Chris Hemsworth away from my life. Thank you. But anyway, so as usual, not as usual. Sorry. I wanted to go over. So you said you guys did not try out any of this out of the Steamfest games. Didn't have the time. Didn't have the patience.
I have not. No. We, with the past week, we've been together marathon gaming board games.
Yeah. I think I played, 4 new ones? 5 new ones?
Okay, well, how about this? Let me get my stupid Steam shit out of the way, and then you guys can talk about board games, because I do actually want to know what you guys played, because there's some truly impressive shit that I saw pictures of. But let me just fly through this really quick, since it was just like my usual ADD, that's kicking in, where, again, I don't have enough time to play the games that I have, but, ooh, something new and shiny over there. So this was a combination of trying out some of the Steam Next Fest, Game Fest, whatever the hell, and also some of the stuff that came on Game Pass that I got to try out. So, let's see. Let me know if you guys have actually seen any of these. Have you guys seen The Last Case of Benedict Fox at all?
No.
Does not ring a bell. Okay. That one's pretty cool. That one is a very, very stylized Metroidvania sort of kind of game, where it takes place in a very sort of Lovecraft. It's a really beautiful game. It's very Lovecraft inspired. The whole thing is supposed to be you are kind of like a supernatural. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically you're like a supernatural detective, and you transport between two worlds. One happens to be okay. So you're trying to solve your father's murder in this game, and you have this. Oh God, I'm gonna do such a terrible job of explaining this. You are basically connected to this weird little otherworldly demon creature thing that lives inside your head. So you can go into like the psyche of victims and try to figure out what's going on with them. And basically, when you go into their mind, this world is portrayed as this like nightmarish Lovecraftian world where you fight monsters and solve puzzles. And like I said, it's like a side-scrolling Metroidvania kind of thing. And you piece together. Cool,
what is it?
Right, you piece
called?
Together, it's called The Last Case of Benedict Fox. It is really, really good. It's on Game Pass. Its weakness lies in its controls. They're a little rubber. Not rubber. I can't explain it. There's like they're inconsistent. Whereas like some things, like you'll tap a button and your character will jump immediately, but then you have like a block action and you'll press the block button and that will take like a millisecond before it responds. So like the controls are a little squishy and a little weird, and that kind of gets in the way sometimes and can make certain things frustrating. But the game is awesome. Visually, it's really it's gorgeous, and the story is pretty cool. The puzzles are actually kind of fun and challenging. So that one was actually pretty neat. Of course, I didn't beat it, but it is really good. Then I played. Have you guys heard? Why am I even asking? The next one was Planet of Lana. That is also on Game Pass.
No,
That is
I
a
have
game.
I
not
saw
heard
that,
of
but I didn't play it.
Yeah, that game is akin to Limbo and Inside and what is it? What's that other one? Alpha Planet or something like that came out. It's another one of those games where you just basically you walk in one direction and solve puzzles. Again, if you played Limbo or Inside, it's one of those games. Um, that one's all right. I think I'm just kind of like it just doesn't do anything really new or fresh in that genre, so I got bored of that pretty quick. It's a pretty game. You get their gimmick is you get like this little cat monkey pet thing that helps you solve puzzles, but it's a lot of like been there done that kind of stuff. It's a pretty game. It's well done, but
Can't
didn't
go
really hold
wrong with a cat monkey.
well, it's hard to explain. It's a pretty game. It's just again, it's just a lot of like I felt like I've been here and I've done this already. Like the puzzles all are all the same thing like in all of these games. This one you guys might be interested in is also in Game Pass. It is called Farworldpioneers. It is a straight up Terraria ripoff. Actually, it's somewhere between Terraria and what is that other game? The one where it takes place in space, where we're supposed to be in space.
Spellbound,
Sorry,
Spacebound, Starbound.
Starbound. Yeah, Starbound. So it's somehow like a combination. Even though Starbound is very similar to Terraria, this is somehow a marriage of Terraria and Starbound. So if you like those games, this game is awesome.
I wish my
I
Xbox app would work.
I mean, you can do Game Pass on anything. You don't need an Xbox. You can do it on.
No, I know. I had it on my PC, but something's causing it to be unable to log in to my account.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I think it's actually a Windows like repair situation. I have to repair Windows.
I've had shit like that, and it's been unrepairable. Like sometimes,
That's
I
weird.
just could never get the Microsoft or the Xbox store to work on the machine.
That's crazy. I don't know
Yep.
why that's happening, but all right. Well, here's a reason for you to figure it out. Farwell Pioneers. It's good, but it's exactly like those games. So those are fun. Ghostlore, I'm not going to go into too much. It's actually a cool little like indie pixel like Diablo like game. Not really much more to say about that. It plays pretty much like an indie version of Diablo that's pixelated. That's all I have to say about that. It's great. Whatever. um, I tried Rotwood. Okay, so this one was really great. So Clay, the company that made the game you'd be most familiar with, would be Don't Starve.
Yeah.
They make Oxygen Not Included.
Yep.
Yeah.
A few other really cool games. So Rotwood is awesome. It is the demo for it is. I don't even think it's an alpha. It's like I think they called it a battle test, where but it already has surprisingly a ton of content in it. So it plays it's I would have to if I have to compare it to anything, it's similar to Moonlighter, Cult of the Lamb, Binding of Isaac kind of thing. Like you have a hub, and you do runs into these. Here it's not a dungeon. Here it's a forest. You fight creatures, you collect resources, you come back to the hub, you upgrade your character and everything. It has that usual Clay art style where everything's like hand drawn. It's really beautiful. I have no idea how the fuck they managed. Like I can't even imagine how much art they had to create for this game because there's going to be more, but right off the bat there's like 3 different characters you can play as, and everything's hand drawn. Their actions you can tell they're not like animated via a 3D engine. It's just animated like old style animation, like cell animation. And they have different outfits, different pieces of armor, different weapons. They had to have like drawn all of this.
Jeez.
And all those weapons have like different attacks, and there's power-ups and enemies. It's a really, really fucking cool game. Everything was great. The combat is amazing. It's fun as hell. The dialogue is good. The story is cute.
And this is like pre-alpha, they're saying?
they called it like I said, it's called like a battle test. It's not even like
That's
that.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very early game, and I played this for hours, and I didn't hit any sort of like ending or whatever. There's already like a bunch of different bosses in it. There's different levels. Like I said, there's 3 characters. You can level up a whole bunch of different shit, including like special attacks, weapons, armor. You can level up things in your base where you have like different kinds of structures and buildings. It's really, really cool. It is awesome. If you, Kevin, as somebody who likes, I know you specifically like these kind of games. Again, I keep mentioning like Binding of Isaac.
I'll have to try. Yeah.
You're gonna love this. It's really well done. Like this is another clay game that's gonna eat up a ton of my time. And then the other thing I think I played beyond that was what else? I feel like I'm really, really forgetting something. Well, I told you guys I finally like cracked and bought a freaking Switch, so I've been messing around with that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you anything that I've really played on it. Oh, I'm back to playing Zelda. I actually want to finish the first Zelda game. So there's
The
that.
first one?
Tears of the Kingdom is the new one. Breath of the Wild, that's it.
Yeah.
Jerry, I know you're not into Zelda games, but goddamn, Breath of the Wild is amazing. Actually, they both are. Both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are pretty great. You would actually really like Tears of the Kingdom because there's a ton of crafting in it, and it's really
it's
creative
still
crafting.
like my kids have been playing it. It's still, I don't know. There's something about Zelda that's like a little bit cheesy to me. It's like too.
That's part of the charm.
Yeah,
it is. It is incredible.
I
It's
never-
very cheesy.
I grew up
It's
on like shit
corny
like
and stupid
Bard's
and-
Tale and Realms of Arcania and like the Origin Ultima games, like the real, the hardcore RPGs, and Zelda was like, like I'm a little cute thing, hit all
That
the
is
pops, and I was
literally
like,
the
oh,
sound
fuck
effects.
that shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you walk up to them and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, thanks, but no thanks. I'm out of here.
Also, for some reason, in Tears of the Kingdom, all the female characters you run into make incredibly erotic noises. I think they need to tone it down for this one. They might have gone a little overboard. Like every female character you run into in Tears of the Kingdom is like, "Ah." And that's like how they greet you. Then when they get to know you, it's like, "Ah."
It's like full on what is it? AMSR. It's like the
You mean ASMR?
whatever. I don't know what the fuck. Like tap 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 tap.
I think
tap.
the other one is a radio station in Canada.
Oh,
Yes.
WKRP in Cincinnati, whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I've also been playing because they actually have an amazing port of Diablo 3 on the Switch. That's been really, really fun.
Saving money, not playing Diablo 4 then.
Well, that's the thing. If they had it for the Switch, I would buy it. But there's absolutely no way Diablo 4 is going to come to the Switch. It's way too that game's way too intensive. But no, I mean Diablo 3 is a really that's a pretty heavy game, and that thing runs perfectly on it. I needed. Here's the thing. I needed to scratch that Diablo itch, and I don't have time to play Diablo 4 because I just haven't had really a lot of time to play anything on the Xbox. So this is holding me over for now.
Is that Starfield game out yet?
No, Starfield is not out. However, they did have a Microsoft event where they showed a bunch of Starfield, and as somebody who was really not that excited about that game before, I really want to play it now. They showed almost an hour of that game, and god damn, that looks really, really good.
So what about it looks so good?
So I'm not gonna say that it's not Fallout 4 in space, because that's exactly what it is. But it's basically Fallout 4, but in space. It seems like it takes all the... So I would say it takes all the really good parts of something like No Man's Sky, cranks all of that up to the levels of like a Bethesda game, and then removes all the heavy, repetitive grinding that comes with...
You sure?
With No Man's Sky. Yeah, they got rid of a lot. Like it's everything's just simplified. Like the thing with No Man's Sky, and don't get me wrong, I love that game. I really wish I had the time to devote to it. I just don't, so I don't play it. But if I could, I definitely would. With No Man's Sky, you're basically stuck in this loop where you're like, okay, I want to build this thing, but in order to build it, I need to refine this material. But I don't have the thing to refine it, so I need to build the refiner. But I can't build a refiner because I don't have this other material. So I need to go to this other planet, but I can't fly to that planet because my ship is broken. In order to fix it, I need an
Yeah,
engine.
all
In order
the
to build the engine, I need a
mission length
material.
shit. Yeah.
It's just this endless loop of it's like yeah, it's like that have you guys seen it's a meme now, that clip from remember that show Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really watched it. But
All right, so
I
there's
know
this
of
there's this famous right, so there's this famous part of it where the wife asks the husband to like change a light bulb. So he goes to the drawer where they have light bulbs, and the drawer is like squeaky. So he decides to fix the drawer, but in order to fix the drawer, he needs a screwdriver. But the screwdriver is like whatever. Basically, it's like the cycle of events where he's like tries to like goes from thing to thing to thing to thing. At the very end, the wife walks in, and he's like in his like in like a white beater underneath the car fixing the transmission, and she's like, "I asked you to change the light bulb," and he's like, "What the fuck does it look like I'm doing?" So like, that's basically No Man's Sky. You start like a quest to do something, and before you know it, you're like 80 levels deep on another planet doing God knows whatever the fuck. So this game is more about, if you've played the other Fallout games, it's a little more direct. It's more about exploration of the world and
Yeah. That's cool.
discovery of things and characters and enemies and stuff like that. There isn't really as much of a grind. Also, the space combat, it looks really good, and you can board other people's ships and fuck their shit up from inside the ships.
That's cool. Like in real time, it's like
I'm sorry. I mean
multiplayer
NPCs.
PvP.
No,
Oh,
NPCs. I'm sorry.
I was going to
But
say like that's a cool PvP kind of.
Yeah, really. That would be interesting.
yeah, well, maybe they'll add that into Fallout 76 one day when it doesn't suck as much dick as it does now. But anyway, so the point being, I don't know why I went there on it. Sorry, I apologize for what I said. But the point being that like the space combat is not as straightforward as some other games where you just you see a ship and you go pew 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 pew, you blow it up, right? You can do that. You can like basically like damage it a little bit and then fly up on it and board it and shoot up everybody inside and take over the ship, and that's your ship. Now there's a lot of just customization shit on it. It looks really really good, and they fixed the combat supposedly as well. So I've gone from giving zero fucks about this game to legitimately really wanting to try it.
Sounds cool.
And is it out, or when is it supposed to come out?
It comes out, I think, in September or October, and it is on Game Pass.
2025 it is.
But
you don't think it'll be delayed at all?
oh, it's already been delayed. It's been delayed severely, and now it's no. At this point, I would be very surprised if it gets delayed. Microsoft is in bad need for this game to come out, especially after what happened with fucking Redfall. So yeah, this game was already delayed for well over a year. So
oh jeez.
Right. They did say that if it was multi-platform, it probably would have taken more time. But the fact that it's an exclusive to Xbox, they're saying that it saved them a lot of time on developing for other systems, so they actually can release it at this point as planned. I mean, look, there might be delays. It's possible, but supposedly everything's on schedule. I'm sure it'll probably come out and be completely broken on day one, and they'll patch it up after a few months, and it'll actually be playable. But whatever.
I love how that answer went from it'll absolutely come out on the day before, on the actual release date too. Like, okay, we know it's going to be delayed. It's been delayed 18 times already,
and then it won't work.
Like,
and 2 months later,
what way are they going to delay it?
All I'm saying is that it's okay. Let me clarify that. I don't believe it'll be delayed anymore. Anything can happen, but I do not think it'll be delayed. However, I do believe that it'll come out, as every game does these days, with major problems on day one, and then they will patch it feverishly for the next like few weeks or months or whatever until it finally like pleases the masses. Because I mean every game just gets released in a broken state at this point. That's just like a normal thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Try Rotwood though. Out of all the things that I would say, try if you're into Metroidvanias, definitely try The Last Case of Benedict Fox. Again, that's on Game Pass, but if you can, also try Rotwood. Oh, also, Kevin, you might be interested in this. Do you know a game called it's something about dwarves mining. It's called like Galactic.
Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic or something.
Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic. All right, so check this out. They're releasing a Vampire Survivor-like game in that universe where it's going to be, it looks like Vampire, so it's basically like a top-down view, but it's the gameplay of the Deep Rock Star. So you get to mine and do all this other shit while doing Vampire Survivor-like combat. They have a closed beta that you can check out on Steam. I asked for access. I have not gotten it yet, but people have said they're pretty liberal with it. So if you ask for
what is this game?
Get a note. That is a great question. I will tell you in a second. Talk amongst yourselves. So me scrolling on a phone isn't the
mumble.
It is called.
I have not played Deep Rock Galactic.
I have not played it either, but people really love it, and it does look like fun. I just heard that it's really fun with other people, and since I have highly unreliable friends that are never available for anything, let me see.
You're just jealous because we're off playing games with friends.
I'm not jealous, I'm envious. There's a difference. Deep Rock Galactic : Survivor. So Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Deep Rock Galactic : Survivor? Is this a thing about like colorectal cancer?
All right. Yes. I mean, whatever gets you to try it. It's called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Anyway.
You paused there for a second.
Well, I was working. I was working my way through the colon. So the thing is, like, if you look it up on Steam, like I said, you can see a video of the game, and you can request access to it. I really want to try it. It looks really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It looks good.
Yeah.
So
that has been Skippy's game extravaganza. Now let's hear about these amazing board games you guys played with.
So we played games from like Wednesday to Sunday, pretty much straight. Yeah, I mean we worked on Thursday and Friday. But
yeah, sure you did. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure your boss is not listening. Yeah, we played Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay,
Friday.
Nobody's listening. I'll give names, dates, and times. It's not gonna, no one's indicting us for anything because nobody listens.
From 8 to 4, I did work, and I was sober, and yes, no gaming was happening whatsoever.
Oh, I definitely worked.
So, Kevin, do you want to talk about some of your new game experiences?
Well, actually, I still have the list because I was keeping track, but we played Mosaic Story Civilization that first Wednesday. That was pretty cool.
That was a new one? I thought you guys played that before.
I didn't.
All right, so what's it called? Mosaic Story Civilization?
Yeah.
All right, give me the 30-second elevator pitch. I'll give you even 45 seconds. And go.
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, go.
What was that? Like area control type of thing with worker placement, and you're sort of like very adversarial, but in such a way where it was more like a social intuition, like poker type of like what is are the other players going to do kind of adversarial, not really like area control adversarial that you're typically used to. And it was interesting because in the beginning my impression was, wait, this can go on forever, and then you realize like it has this like tension buildup that's really kind of cool, and it's hard to explain. But I think like the poker idea is sort of like where you feel like your previous moves are well earned if you got that far in a way.
Well, what? Okay, so what's the basic? Like, what is a turn?
It's a civilization game. You're researching technologies. But it's also area control. So you're like in Europe and North Africa.
Oh, holy shit!
It's a V player versus player game, or is it a co-op?
Yeah, no, it's player. This is player PvP.
Okay.
So you're kind of like jockeying for resources that are on the map, and you're trying to control the most of one particular area or several particular areas, while you may or may not have an army that you're moving around, and also you're trying to build up technologies and like build world wonders and
cities.
So this is
population cities and
this is a legit civilization
artistic game.
Yeah, very much played as a board game, like a civilization game.
How long does it take to play? No, you didn't.
And that one, and actually, I was getting ahead of myself. The adversarial type of game was Inish, but this one was also a little bit different though, but more as a civilization. Sorry about that.
So how long does it take to play?
Mosaic. Okay, we were playing for quite a while.
Yeah,
because most civilization games, I'm thinking of the civilization game that takes like weeks, months to play. So
yeah.
Well, no, I mean we started playing at like 10 o'clock. It started playing in air quotes and ended at like 5. But I mean, you think about it, we're bullshitting, we're drinking, we're grabbing lunch,
stuff for lunch,
going to the bathroom. I mean, and it was our first playthrough, so we were learning the game too. So to say how long any particular game is difficult at best.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
The box probably had like 120 minutes or something.
I have never seen one of those that have been accurate.
It's because it's like playtesters that are like into the hundreds of plays,
Yeah.
So that was Mosaic, and then what was it? The next morning we did Inish, or wasn't that night?
Wait,
was it that night?
It was that night because
it was.
Yeah.
How do you spell
INIS?
INIS.
Okay. Never heard of that one either, but okay.
And that's the one I meant was more like trying to guess what the other players were going to do. Yeah. And it was like intrigue.
Okay. And this is great because each you have how many players? Like if you have 4 players, you have 17 cards. It's 4 cards per person plus 1. Each round, you randomly toss 1 card. So it's only 17 cards. Easily, if you've played the game a couple of times, all the cards. You randomly toss 1, deal out 4 to everyone else, and then you draft them. And you know everything that everyone can do. And you're like, oh, did I get this card? Do I get this card? How do they work together? Do I let this one go? And you know that, like, exactly what you're giving everyone else. And it's like a total area control where you start, it's like, and it's hard to explain. There are different win conditions. Go on.
Yeah. Well, so a couple of things to point out is, like, as you're trying to guess which cards people have, and how they're going to jockey things around, your focus is almost, where can I stop this person from having the potential to win? And like, it's almost secondary to have your own setup at the same time, or like part and partial. But it's so much about like guessing, which way is they gonna, put troops here or whatever. Which way are they gonna go? Which card are they gonna play? And it just had that a weird sort of reverse type of adversarial thinking, where you're like building up troops or like resources in order to build up your empire and then fight. This was more like, cards of intrigue being played to develop and jockey for position.
Oh,
and it gave it a cool angle, I thought.
Interesting.
And there's like multiple win conditions, and like each one, it's kind of like
it's a pretty
it really is a great game. But like, you could win because you're in a region with these specific buildings, and you could win if you are in a region but you have like more people in that region than any other person. Or you could just win by being in enough regions, and there are all these different win conditions, and there's way to modify them, and it comes down to these like incredible like player versus player. Like, all of a sudden out of nowhere you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna win next turn unless we stop him, and you have like an opportunity to stop him. And like,
it's actually like only one person will win, and they have to essentially do one round with I'm winning next turn, and they have to actually announce I'm about to win, like a checkmate, as like their turn.
You're saying Uno.
Yeah, right. And it gave that, like, really sort of like because the whole thing is adversarial, you almost don't mind, because like you signed up for it. But like I said, it's got that interesting kind of like you're actually sort of jockeying to stop other people from winning it more than you're actually trying to do the win. It's like you have to think secondly about it, and the whole guessing and pokery type of thing. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Okay. What else? What's the next one?
I
feel like we should be sharing this. We should be screen sharing these games, but all right.
Then there was Sorcerer. That was pretty cool.
Sorcerer.
Yeah, that one is where it's kind of like a deck builder. So the way the game is set up, it has like characters, it has lineages, which is like the character is who you are. The lineage is like where you or how you, like what kind of powers you have.
Yeah,
and
like a theme.
Then there's like a location of like where you grew up. And there are all these different decks. So like you have these different characters, and then you have different lineages. Like I'm a necromancer. I'm
kind of like a class, but they call it lineage.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And then it's like
wild.
Yeah. So you have, and the first thing you do is you create like a deck with 40 cards out of this. So you pick a random character, or you pick one of these characters, you pick one of these lineages, and you pick a location. So the different engines that you can build are like really cool, and I God knows how many different combinations there are.
Yeah.
And you're basically fighting to win 2 of 3 locations in like old London, Sherlock Holmesian London kind of thing. But it's
for whatever reason, that's yeah.
So you're like summoning monsters and vampires and ghouls and wights, and everyone has different powers, and you can only affect the region that you're in, and monsters can only affect the regions that they're in, and you're kind of like jockeying all this back and forth and moving monsters, and it's just a really cool dynamic game. and like we had this amazing knockdown drag out fight. I was like, because you have 3 locations, I was like, haha, I beat you there, and he's like, but I beat you there. And then we like had like a bum rush on the 3rd location that was completely untouched,
Yeah.
and he had like crazy powerful monsters that were wounded, but he got there first, and it was just he slaughtered me. But it was amazing. It was such a good game.
And then what was the name of that one we played? We played the shit out of it like 3 times.
That was It's a Wonderful World, and that's like a neat little engine builder thing where you have like a corporation, and you basically, there are 5 resources that you can produce, and there are 4 turns where you pick a bunch of buildings that you're going to like work on building over the next round, or however many are left. And
Sorry, I love
each
the
one
description for it. Draft yourself the perfect dystopia. Complete projects and churn out resources.
yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It's a pretty cool type of like cascading type of engine builder, so that like you want to have by the 4th round like a really good set of rolling up resources, because it's like with the way the game works is you do like a whole planning stage, and then you trigger off the production situation, and then you're like each production gets built in turn. So if you complete a project, it will participate in the next production. And so like having that plan is like setting up dominoes, and then like getting to hit one domino, and then like chain produce through all the different constructed buildings. So it made for a really intriguing kind of like thought experiment as you're looking at your hand and doing the drafts. That was a fantastic game.
It's surprisingly deep because you have to take into account the order that you produce all the items in. So it's like you produce material first, and then you produce energy, and then so you're going through, and you're like, how can I finish these these new buildings using the resources that I can. And like each round you draft 7 cards of 7 buildings, and you have to decide which ones you're going to build, which can take from like 2 to 8 or 10 resources to build, or which ones you're going to recycle. And any one that you recycle, you get one particular resource for. So you're recycling some cards to pay to build other cards, but you have to like balance that ratio so that you're building enough buildings to increase your production to be able to build more buildings later on.
Yeah.
Versus like, you're recycling this to get that building out faster, but you only have so many buildings that you can
lose out in buildings.
If you recycle them all, you're not building anything anything new to produce. So it's really an interesting.
The more you build, the more victory points you can collect.
Yeah, it's a great engine builder with some deep strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything else?
I had this one game, and it sound like on paper it sounds great. It's called Bios Genesis, and it's simulating like the first few billion years of Earth, where it was like just organic soup, and life is trying to get hold, and you're like throwing amino acids, like literally in this game, in a soup in like either the ocean or tide pools or something. And like thematically, the game sounds great, but it was so complicated, and the manual is like, so you're in phase 18B, and to do in this phase, you're going to want to reactivate C section 12.C your Biont C section 3.5, and it's like going back and forth, and it was so frustrating. We were like, fuck this. I need to like watch it played or play through.
And we did.
Solo.
It was
like,
late night,
and
but
make a cheat sheet. No, it wasn't late night. It was in the middle of the day. We were like fucking fried. We were like, fuck this.
no,
shit.
I mean
Oh my
when
God,
we
this
watched
is
it the
horrible.
night before.
Oh yeah, and we were a little bit high, but so that didn't help me. So,
Not a little bit.
but yeah, true.
Surprised you remember
Anyway.
as much as you do. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but yeah, what was so that was new. We played Spirit Island, which was ridiculously like tactically complicated, but like super cool.
Yeah. Fun game.
Okay.
That's pretty much everything.
That's a lot of games. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend, whatever. It was great.
We're like 2 weeks away from another marathon.
Yeah, which ones are you bringing? Which ones are you bringing to the marathon that I actually?
All the meat.
Okay,
all right.
Would I say
I'm
all the
gonna rent
bacon
a
and
U-Haul
eggs in the
trailer.
the kitchen? I'm thinking Parks and Rec actually.
Yeah,
I
I hate
am?
that shit.
Okay. Oh yeah. Especially Offerman. Fuck Offerman. That guy
He's
sucks.
such a dick.
He's the worst.
He ruins everything he's in.
I really liked Last of Us until that one episode where they had Nick fucking Offerman in it. More like Nick Awful Man.
Where's the cricket?
Wait, I'm sorry. Is my microphone off? Perhaps
No.
You see, it was a joke because his name is Offerman, but I said Awful Man. There you go. Thank you. Great. Great. I wanted to make sure that wasn't lost.
No.
Of us. Lost of us.
Okay, mine was ironic, Kevin.
Good times.
Anyway. Okay, well, I think it's safe to say we covered a lot of shit.
Yeah. It's also a little bit late.
It's also if I forgot to mention, Extraction 3 is in the works. Just so.
Yeah.
I didn't get that impression from the rest of the podcast.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that
it was mentioned.
Extraction 3.
It might have been mentioned.
There will be more extracting.
So, and in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, we're going to see Cocaine Bear, and we'll be able to give the
oh my God,
full review of Cocaine Bear. We're going to see that, and what was it, Silent Night?
No, we have to watch Cocaine Shark.
You mean Violent? What?
Violent Night. Yes. No. Okay. Yes. There is
Cocaine Shark also.
Wait, before I say anything, really quick, Jerry, you've seen Violent Night. Kevin, you have not seen Violent Night, right?
I think no.
Correct.
Okay.
You poo-pooed it every other time. You're like, that's stupid.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see it. The one from last Christmas, last December.
My wife and I finally watched it because it was it's been on Prime, so we finally got to see it.
Yeah.
And
That
Jerry, I know
violence
this
was
might,
awesome, right? It was just a perfect cinematic straight
and this might be the
shot.
last podcast we do together, but I'm going to be honest with you. That movie sucked.
No,
I
that
was
movie was so good.
I was so surprised by how fucking boring, not funny, and pointless that movie was.
I'm
I
not
You are
expected
surprised.
dead to
I'm
me.
not surprised.
You are
we were
dead
both
to me.
we surround ourselves. We got this whole like all the snack tray and like alcohol, and we were like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. And I will say this, what's his name? Oh my god, what's the actor's name? Help me, Hopper.
David.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love that man.
He's cool.
He's great. The movie was shit.
You're
First of all,
dead to me.
Kevin, I'm actually Kevin. I'm kind of curious for you to see because I want to see what you think of it. I was surprised by how much we hated it.
Wow.
It was over. It was over, and we both looked at each other and we're just like, "What the fuck was that? That was not funny. There was like very little action. It was boring as hell. The writing is horrible. Like you think
That was
they
like
would
when
come up with-
Jerry and I watched Shazam 2.
Yeah.
I could not. I was full. Like it was one of those movies where I was like, I don't care how bad it is. Honestly, if it just has everything that they show you in the commercials, it'll probably be good. They show you all the good parts in the commercial. There's like 3 or 4 like cool scenes in it, and everything else is horrible. I can't. I really can't. I was very surprised by how truly terrible that movie was. That's it. Sorry. I'm sorry,
You're
Jerry.
dead to
I'm
me.
sorry.
Go buy
I'm
a
sorry.
nice vehicle.
I will. I will. It was just.
Don't worry, you can't disappoint me anymore.
It was just that. First of all, the first half of the movie, nothing happens. There's literally nothing that happens in the first half of the movie. And then when it does finally pick up, there's like one action scene, and then it's pretty much it. Like, I see. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for Kevin because he might see it and he might like it. But I just, oh god, like especially coming off something like Extraction 2, like you watch those kind of action sequences and then you watch this movie and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
but this, I mean, this wasn't that kind of caliber of a movie.
But it wasn't even like funny or creative violence. It was just like, it was. Oh
thought it was
god,
funny.
I was. I will say, okay, there was one part in it. Again, I'm treading carefully to avoid spoiling anything for Kevin, but the parody where they go into at some point there's a little scene that's like a parody of Home Alone. That part was great.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. We were laughing our asses off at that. That was great because it just makes fun of how completely masochistic and violent and horrible that movie was, and how like the way. Well, anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. Like that part was great. Everything else was holy crap. Like you just keep waiting and waiting for something to happen, and then it doesn't, and then the movie ends, and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
You're dead to me.
Kevin, you're gonna have to be the deal breaker here. You're gonna have to watch it.
Tiebreaker.
All right.
Tiebreaker, deal breaker. Yeah, tiebreaker, not deal breaker. I'm a little worried about cocaine. I'm a little worried about Cocaine Bear now, Jerry. I got to be honest. I was
Cocaine
all set
Shark.
on loving that movie. What Cocaine Shark? What are you
Kevin's
talking
all about Cocaine Shark.
There is a show. There's a movie called Cocaine Shark.
When
Okay, I
he
saw-
was
it showed
here,
him-
I turned on the Google TV and like it was probably like a Tubi reference or something, but like it said Cocaine Shark, and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Cocaine Shark," and I was like,
Oh my god.
"Oh my god."
Okay.
Yeah,
as long as-
2023.
as long as
IMDb
when
movie.
That's fine. As long as when we're watching Cocaine Bear, you're not just sitting there going, "That movie just had no sharks in it." I don't know what the hell. Like, I was really disappointed. Like, no sharks at all. There was some kind of bear, but where were the?
It's an hour and 16 minutes.
I mean, that's a lot of
Full-on plot.
That's a lot of coked out sharks. What can I tell you?
It sure is. But it's hilarious that they, Cocaine
Shark.
Bear's been around for like a year, or not around, but, coming out for a while, and then Cocaine Shark. Like, what happened? How did they do that? Is it the same? Oh my god.
It's not a deeply profound theme.
No, I know,
Yes,
but
right.
imagine like cocaine cougar. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Attack of the meth gator.
Wait, is cocaine cougar about an animal
Big
or
friggin'
like
snake. Oh my god.
about like horny,
Sharkula.
Oh my god.
Wait, Crackoon.
What raccoon?
No, it's Crackoon.
Crack food. Oh my god, that's wrong on so many levels. I want to watch Cocaine Cougar.
Oh my god. It's fucking hilarious.
Out housewife from New Jersey.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow. Mm.
She goes after the pool boys.
Crocodile. Oh my god.
Good time.
Crack. Okay, that sounds.
And Crackoon. Oh my god.
Man, your algorithm, your search algorithm is going to be amazing for the next few days.
As soon as I searched, IMDb had similar to this, and it was all the, cocaine or crack cane, all the variations, and like 50 animals.
Okay. All right. Well, there'll be plenty of time to watch that. So
Next thing you know, it'll be like cocaine penguin or something smacking that meme where it smacks the other one.
that has to be a thing. I refuse to believe there's not some kind of movie or short about a coked out penguin.
Yep.
Although,
They're the most evil animal on the planet.
What kind of pea drugs on there? I'm just thinking about like penicillin penguin, but that's like he just doesn't get infections. Like the fuck is there like a pea drug or something?
It's just a really like short 3-minute movie here. This penguin is really healthy. The end.
Oh my god. All right. Well, let's end on a laugh.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I already had my last thought. I think I was advising children to keep their pants on in public, which in hindsight I don't know why I was talking about that, but it's still good advice. So I'm just gonna.
It was more like don't whip it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get that graphic. I'm not sure what that line is. So.
Oh, doggy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That dog obviously does not like my current topic of discussion. So let's move on to something else. Jerry, what's your closing thought?
Well, I don't know because ever since we started doing the Twitch thing, we've been like we don't have closing thoughts, so I didn't think of any closing thoughts.
Oh, I was just doing that because I wasn't prepared the other times. So, but now I am prepared.
Okay.
So now we're doing it.
Play more games.
Which kind?
Board games.
Okay, I think that's good. I do think that people should play more board games. I am happy to see that board games in general are like still on the rise. Like they're very popular.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. It's because it's such a great social thing. It's so great instead of playing garbage like Fortnite and whatever the fuck like young people are wasting their life on.
Yeah.
Get together with some people and play some cool board games, man.
Yep. Totally
Sorry,
agree.
Jared, didn't mean to steal your closing thought, but yes, that's very good advice.
Oh, that you affirmed my closing thought. Thank you.
That's what I did. Kevin, would you like me to affirm your closing thought?
Sure. Don't feed your pets any cocaine. It's not good.
Okay, I'm glad there was a follow-up to that. Don't feed your pets. Well, good night.
Fuck, you should have said that last podcast. My dog's like totally coked up. He's barking. Like,
it's just a public service announcement. Don't try this at home.
Yeah, you should have said it earlier. That's all I'm saying.
I would say don't feed. Wait, you said don't feed your pets drugs?
Cocaine specifically,
cocaine,
but yeah,
like,
drugs.
I feel like
cocaine shark, cocaine bear, crackcoon, all that stuff.
His cats all the time.
You should extend it to all animals, not just pets.
Sure, that's true.
Probably a good idea to not give meth to gators. I'm sure Florida's got that covered anyway, but whatever.
Oh my god, they're all over the place. It's an epidemic.
Oh God, I didn't get into my whole Florida rant. That's a whole nother thing. I'll save that for next time.
We
That
could do
place
an
is.
addendum. We could do
Oh my
a
God.
like 15 minutes Patreon people only, and then set up a Patreon account real quick.
I feel talking about. Oh, actually, Patreon has free tiers now. I feel like talking about Florida just makes me angry because every time.
No,
It's
let's
just,
end
every time I
on
read about
laughing.
hurricanes.
Yeah, save that.
I mean, Florida's pretty funny. Fuck, you know,
True.
places so goddamn ridiculous. Anyway. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Well,
It was a
see,
pleasure.
yeah. Say goodnight, Skippy.
I think we covered a lot of topics and gave people some really great things to think about.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to find out.
We're
We're saying
ending
don't
soon.
feed your animal drugs because you should save them for yourself.
Yeah, it's a good point.
All right.
Basically,
Now.
Kevin is just against the sharing of drugs, but hoard them and keep them for yourself.
With that.
This has been a production of
It's just me.
Studios.